The Rangers board drama rages on. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. It's an early morning here, 26th of September. It is Malmo versus Rangers Day. I've hyped it up there, something chronic, as if it's like the Champions League final. You know what? It's still a big game, alright? So let's reel that patter in. But Simon Jordan, he has been telling the Rangers board to wake up as he's went through John Gilligan, and he's actually backed Dave King's right to set them on fire. So we're going to look at the comments here from Simon Jordan, and we'll see who is in the right. But of course, this comes after Big Gilligan telling Dave King, shut your role, shut your mouth, know your role, as The Rock used to say, and pretty much saying, how about you act like the rest of us shareholders, shut your mouth, be complacent, and just accept what's going on at the club, which is hee-haw, and we're second best. I mean, why should Dave King actually just shut up and be second best? Don't get it, but right, here we go. This is what Simon Jordan had to say, and I quote, "Well, there sounds a leader. That was inspiring. Who's Gilligan to define what a proper shareholder is? He's the biggest individual shareholder. He has 15% of the business. He can operate how he feels. Do I think it's wise for him to have done what he did? Well, he must have his reasons for doing it. He set the board on fire, metaphorically speaking, and I think there's some merit behind it. He talked about the off-field being poor. I'm assuming that as a shareholder, he's privy to the financial information and is able to make that observation." End of quote. Right, totally agree here with Simon Jordan and Dave King. He's the majority shareholder. He's got the 15%, which is more than everyone else. And at the end of the day, right, I'm not saying because he's the 15%, shareholder, Dave King should be able to run into Ibrox with a rocket launcher and start firing shots into the stands, right? But I think he should be able to voice his displeasure about what's happening at Rangers Football Club right now. And well, I'll tell you what, big man, that's exactly what's going on. And he kind of has set them on fire about it. And you know what? I think it's more than justified. You look at what's actually going on, and it's bogging. You know what I mean? It needs called out, and it rightfully has got called out. I honestly think maybe it's Boyd, and there's Chris Boyd, and there's not really many other Rangers pundits being that focal, but a lot of people are just being quiet. I get it; it's been all doom and gloom. Maybe people don't want to pile on, but there's not much. There's not much talk towards the Rangers board at the minute. It seems to be like Simon Jordan is actually like the biggest cheerleader for Dave King, which, yeah, in itself is just a weird thing to say. But he went on to say, and I quote, "On the field, the situation is that Rangers are not in good shape. The structure of the club in terms of its acquisition policy for players and the main core product doesn't look like a good outcome. Despite the fact that they were very hospitable, I wasn't impressed with James Bisgrove as a leader. I wasn't impressed with talking to Douglas Park. I wasn't impressed with talking to his son. I think they're small-minded. So when I listen to this interim chairman, I don't think there's anything inspirational. I imagine Dave King sitting there. Do I think it's the wisest thing he did? Well, he did it for a reason. They make the point he had been there before. When he left, other people stepped up. How can anyone step into a vacuum? Doesn't mean you've stepped up into the vacuum well, does it? Dave King as a shareholder has the right to operate to see how he fits. If he's going to bring the board with him, he wants the court of public opinion to be his judge or enabler to achieve outcomes, then that's his gift. The fact that Rangers and his perception as a significant shareholder is not in good nick, he can do what he well pleases." End of quote. Right. So, yeah, there's a lot of emphasis being put on Dave King and the fact, oh, well, he stepped down and we stepped up. Yeah, you look across the history of the world, right? Businesses, countries, people have stepped down when the business has been in a good place, or they've just, previously before they've stepped down, it was great. I think a good example is WWE. Vincent Kennedy McMahon, right? Now, he's got a lot of allegations against him at the minute. The documentary just released, cheaply plugged there for Big Stevie. Go check it out. I haven't watched it, but I've seen clips from it, which I thought were pretty funny. But it's like, he gave the greatest wrestling of all time, right? See anybody that knows anything about wrestling, it's because of Vincent Kennedy McMahon. See everybody that grew up late 90s, 2000s, right? and you know all these stars, it's because of Vincent Kennedy, man. Yeah, even go back to the 80s, man. Hulk Hogan, right? See this pathetic Diddy age where his doofus son-in-law took over by the name of the Triple H. He did a fucking shite job. So just because someone stepped down doesn't automatically mean they were pish. And there's numerous examples, man, throughout the world. You know what I mean? Honestly, it's embarrassing to suggest just because you stepped down means you were doing a awful job. I mean, fucking Sir Alex Ferguson stepped down. I mean, say at the end, say towards the end of the season when Moyes was in charge, right? And Sir Alex like, I'm going to come back, Moyes, you're pish. But David Moyes turns around and goes, but you stepped in, mate. It's like, no, fuck off. He's a United legend. They would welcome him. They'd welcome him back with open arms. So I don't really get that whole mantra, to be honest. Right. He then went on to say, who is this fella Gilligan? Just because he sat there in the situation. I watched the interview and I watched them shuffling down the stairs. That to me, that's me. All I need to know about the capability, quality, outlook, and disposition, motivation, energy in that Rangers boardroom. I know what a leader looks like, and that doesn't look like one. And if that's representative of the board, then they do need a shake up and a wake up. They do need a boot up the backside. Whether Dave King is the right person to do it or not is a different discussion. He went for the board and said they weren't good enough. Of course, they're going to say, do you mind? At least they've got some backbone about them, and out the complete invertebrates I thought they might be. End of quote. Well, he says, well, at least they've got a backbone and not the invertebrates I thought they might be. I mean, this is a board of football we're talking about. A fellow shareholders basically come out and went, you guys are off pish. If they didn't come out and defend themselves, I would be a bit worried. But at the same time, I think there was a way of defending themselves without trying to make out that Dave King did a horrible job first time round, because he just didn't. But that is where we're going to leave it, guys, for this video. Of course, we'll have more videos tonight. We've got Rangers match review, we've got player ratings, all that good stuff. And we'll have another FIFA Career Mode part, upload it tomorrow, hopefully. And I believe, what games are in that for the Aberdeen? I think it's Motherwell and St Mirren. Don't quote me on that. I could be. I know for a fact it's St Mirren. I know for a fact it's Motherwell. Can't necessarily remember what the other game is. But can Rangers get the job done tonight? Hopefully, man. I think it's one of those games where they just need to pick up a result. A draw wouldn't be a disaster. I don't think it would be. It puts you on a point, which pretty much means if you get 3 wins at your other 7 games, you're through. But I guess the problem with that is there's a lot of tough games in there because, put it this way, you draw tonight, you need 3 wins. And the 3 wins you would think they're doable is Union St. Galossi at home, Bucharest at home. So say you win those 2 and draw against Malmo. There's 7 points. But then you've got 4 tasty away tries, man. You've got Nice, Olympiacos. I've already talked about the Malmo game, but you've got United, then you're at home to Lyon and Tottenham. Ideally, a win tonight. I think a win tonight puts us one step into the knockout stages. I think a draw gets us, sniffing the knockout stages. Because I think if we lose tonight, it puts so much pressure on games that you would rather have as a luxury rather than, oh fuck, we need to go to Old Trafford and beat them 4-0 or something. Anyway, leave your thoughts down below and peace.